Hello everybody and welcome to Purple Table Tarot. I am Robin on location. And I am reading for Gemini this evening. Gemini, we are going to be doing a your present situation read, and then I'll be pulling cards on what to do, what not to do, or like whatever, like your choices, and then the outcome. Okay, let's see here. Oh, I don't have my timing cards with me, but anyways, that's all right. And my oracles. Oh shoot, you guys get a little bit cheated tonight. Sorry. Well, you know what I can do actually? I could do like a little special like mini oracle upload just for Geminis in a couple days. Okay. All right. For Gemini. Ooh. Oh yeah, and I'm in a hotel room because I'm at a work convention. Not a tarot convention, something much like not it. Not that. Okay. Okay, bottom of the deck energy is the Five of Wands. So some conflict, inner conflict, outer conflict, but like mostly along the lines of like differing opinions and different egos clashing around like trying to do a particular thing, you know? So like the silver lining in that is that there's like a common goal. But then again, I mean, there could be a common issue and people could be being like, no, don't do that. And other people are like, yeah, do that, blah, blah, blah. Either way, it's just a conflict of ideas and a lot of egos clashing. And this could be work colleagues, things like that, like a group outside of you. And this could also stand for just internally, because this is also about identity. So you could have like different parts of yourselves kind of competing against one another. And right under that card I see the Nine of Pentacles, so that to me says that there's probably a good amount of folks who are seeing this reading and maybe feeling that way. And cross watchers, this goes for you as well. Okay, so for the present situation we have the Four of Cups, so you could be feeling pretty bored or dissatisfied. The other thing about the Four of Cups is that like you could just be kind of bored with, even if things are all going okay, you know, you could just be feeling a little stagnant, because fours are stability, and so we could have like this kind of ongoing stability in our emotions, or maybe you haven't experienced much of an emotional state shift much, you know, you just kind of get into those periods. So that's the present deal. You could be feeling like that, or you could be feeling bored or just wanting to meditate. Okay, so then what should you do? What shouldn't you do? So you got the, oh wait, shoot, that's right. Oh my God, you guys, I'm so tired. This was like such a whim. I was like, I'm just gonna go on and do a little reading. Like, I posted one this morning, but like, I don't know, I'm kind of bored in my room, and I usually put down 2 cards per position on this read. Anyways, it's been a long day, sorry. I may or may not even post this video, but I'll watch it and see. Like, yeah. Okay. Oh. Got the 4 of Cups here twice. That's fucking lame. Like, the 4 of Cups is such a lame state to be in. I don't. Whenever it shows up in a reading, I'm like, oh my god. Okay. So the bottom of the deck energy is the Magician. So there's conflict about what to manifest, inside or outside of you. That's what's happening. That's the overtone. All right, so the 4 of Cups is the 3 of Pentacles. So you are kind of getting bored with whatever kind of three-way issue you got going. You could be in a work relationship. You could be working on a team with some folks, and you're just kind of like, since the 5 of Wands is here, you're probably kind of getting sick of like trying to cooperate with these people. That's just what's coming through. Okay. And so then you got the 4 of Cups and the Temperance. That tells me that you have the option of staying put and being patient and blah, blah, blah. And I mean, and it depends on the context, right? Like, if you're in a work, if you and some colleagues are doing like a project, right? Or you're in it and you're not going to just like cut bait, whatever, on the project, or whatever it is that you're involved in with a couple of other people, even though it is causing you conflict, then this is what you're going to have to do. You're going to have to hang in there. But while you're hanging in there, it's going to be, you're still going to feel a tinge of like boredom and disappointment and stuff like that. And so what I think would be a good idea, if you choose that route, because that's an option, I would say, instead of focusing on how bored you are, like, try to focus on some positive things about maybe the outcome of the project, or why is it that you even started this thing in the first place? Like, whatever it is you're involved in, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know what it is, but whatever it is you're involved in, if you can't bail on it or whatever, make the best of it. Because it says that while you're trying to do that, that you still feel bummed out about it. Okay, the other option is the Ace of Cups and the 6 of Pentacles. So, you know, still giving. So 6 of Pentacles is typically somebody who is like sharing their resources, right, with 2 or more other people. You know, some folks really see this card as equal give and take. Some folks see it as just like trying to be all things to all people in a way. Like, sometimes, depending on the context, it could be like spreading yourself too thin, because this is also about self-care and boundaries, depending on how it shows up. But given that it's right here next to the Ace of Cups, excuse me, it's like, who are you going to give your Ace of Cup to? Who are you going to give your cup to? You know, I mean, whatever it is, you don't have to be giving it to somebody. I mean, this is coming towards you. This is for you to take. So maybe you are being offered a cup. Who knows? It could be anything. Whatever it is, though, it's very emotional. Like the Ace of Cups, a lot of folks don't really talk too much about how it's actually an overwhelming emotional experience. It could be positive or negative. It could be overwhelming. But it's a beautiful thing, and it's very important. And it's usually at the beginning of a new thing, whether it's with a new set of people or whatever, or if it's a starting over with somebody that you already know. But whatever the case may be, Gemini, there's a group collab of some sort. You're not feeling very good about it. You have the option of hanging in there, but still being bored. And I'm just kind of like, well, why would you be there? Like, what's the goal? So that's the other thing that I want you to do, is think about, you could even write it down, like, what are your reasons for staying on this project or this collab or whatever this is, this third-party situation. This could actually be somebody juggling two lovers. Who knows? Because we do have the Ace of Cups and then the Six of Pentacles. So that tells me also that if this is a third-party romantic situation, that there's kind of been a little bit going here and there. So, take it as it resonates. So you just have to weigh your options, Gemini, whether you want to hang out in here or I don't know. Either one of these options seems weird, because why would you keep... What this tells me is that you would just choose one person to give your cup to. This is what this is saying to me in the context of these cards. I get the sense that one person is upset that they are kind of like trying to go out with a couple of people, right? Because it could be a dating card too, the Three of Pentacles. And on one, you got two options. And one option of staying in this Three of Pentacles space, like dating two people, is not feeling good. So that says you got to dump somebody, or you got to choose one, right? You got to break up with one person if you're like, I can't date two people, like this isn't working for me. That's what I see, because it's like you got these two cups here and they're going in and out, like balancing and stuff with one another, but it's still Four of Cups energy if you do this. So then this says, no more breadcrumbing a couple people. You need to give one person your whole... I mean, we all have different things that we do. It's not like you have to give them your entire life, but the one cup goes to one person given these cards, right? I'm not trying to be preachy or whatever. There are so many people can do so many different things, but based on what the cards are saying, that's what it looks like to me. And that's totally cool too, Yeah, I wouldn't be able to date two people. Fuck no. Who has the time? I think that's something that people do in their 20s. It's just that's too much energy. I can't be even connecting with whatever. Anyway, so the outcome is the King of Wands with the Three of Pentacles again. What? The outcome is the King of Wands with the Three of Pentacles. So that tells me that this person, if you choose to stay with this, because threes, it's nobody went anywhere, and the King of Rods, it's fired up. They're a very sexy character. They're very passionate and attractive, and they're leaders and all the things, right? And usually King of Wands in reverse is a player, but I see a King of Wands as an adult. And I know that adults can date two people, absolutely. But so here's the thing, based on the outcome here, I think if you choose to stay with the 3, you're still going to be feeling not fully okay with that, like not balanced. But, and then the 6 of Pentacles with the Ace of Cups, that's an option for you to just choose to give it to one of the 2 people. But with the King of Wands and the 3 of Pentacles here, if this is predictive, then that's you staying in it and still being, you know, having the 3 of Pentacles. And it could be hanging in the project, right? It could be a work. Maybe you absolutely can't abandon the work, whatever it is, project. And then, so you have to stay. You know, maybe this is more like you taking a leadership role in the project, because that's the thing. King of Wands is a leader. So maybe the dissatisfaction, if we're reading this through a work lens, the dissatisfaction could be that you're not very happy with the way that the team is set up and that the team is organized. Like usually in the 3 of Cups, there's like an architect, a foreman, and like some third party person there that's just kind of like for moral support. I don't know. They're just there. And so, I mean, perhaps the dissatisfaction before was you weren't in a leadership role and then somebody had to go and then you kind of stepped up. Like, that's a possibility. You know, it could have been shifting teams, whatever. So you could like read it like that. That's how like the work interpretation comes out. Since I don't have oracle cards or any of that stuff, I think I might just like give a little treat by clarifying some of these. Okay, let's look at this 3 of Pentacles, because it's up here and it's down here. It's like, what the heck is this? Like, what is it? Okay, so why is the 3 of Pentacles here? For real. I know how it feels, right? But it's like it could be anything. But the thing is, if this was an Ace of Pentacle, then I'd be like, this is work all the way, you know. But this is Ace of Cups. I'm like, yeah. And people have been associating 3 of Pentacles with third party. And it's true. It's just a third person. And it's building a foundation. That's what it is. So that's why it feels a little weird, because it's kind of like, if it was a relationship context, it's like, would you be building a foundation if you're dating 2 people? I guess. I don't know. I don't want to say any more about it because I don't want to sound judgy. Oh shoot, I had gotten a text message before. Well, anyways, I'm busy, so my colleague is here too. She's staying in the hotel and we were gonna go get dinner. I was gonna order room service. I'm like, I want room service. Okay, I'm sorry guys. I'm tired, okay, why is the 3 of Pentacles here? What is this 3? That told me nothing. Okay, so it's 3 of Pentacles. It's Ace of Wands, 5 of Swords, and 10 of Cups. What? That doesn't tell me what the 3 is. Passions, lying. That's funky. Okay. Upset. 3. So there's a new passion, like some sort of opportunity, fast-moving opportunity. But yet why is the 5 of Swords here? Is it like somebody self-sabotaging? It means self-sabotage or like deceit or even arguments. But then it's like right next to the 10 of Cups. I don't think I've ever pulled that combination before. I honestly don't think I ever have, because I'm looking at this, I'm like, how does that even go together? I can't. Like, someone's lying to their community over some passionate experience. It could be someone. Oh, okay, well, let's read this in two ways. If this is a work situation, there could be a very there's a reticence to upset the team. So someone's not being honest really about how they really feel about like not being satisfied with this project and with this team. But everybody's trying to get along, and they usually all get along, so they're just like trying to keep that to themselves. And the other piece about this is that this was a really good work opportunity. Like if somebody were to go on this project on this team and do this thing, then that would be a really good career move for them. And it was something that was like, okay, you got to decide on this pretty quickly, because the Ace of Wands is a very fast moving opportunity. Okay. If I'm reading this in the love way, somebody's cheating on their family with somebody. That's what it looks like to me. And now they feel like this. They're like, what the fuck have I gotten myself into? Because the Ace of Wands is also like, let's be real, it's a freaking boner, right? It's a boner. And someone is lying about whatever kind of, and since it's a fast opportunity, like this could be like some sort of affair, because there's the Five of Swords next to like the family card. So someone's sidestepping the truth, and they got their back to the happy wish fulfillment, like the way everything looks, you know. And this can also be like, you know, 10s are always the time. Like my teacher, Megan Angus, she says, whenever you get the 10, it's also a time to pull the car over, because it's just a lot, you know, it's just a lot. So there could be somebody experiencing like, they could also actually be really experiencing like a lot of love right now. That's another thing as I'm looking at what's coming through. This person could be experiencing a lot of love, and there's this opportunity for a new passionate beginning, something that's going to change one's identity, okay? But there's some self-sabotage going on. This could be somebody lying to themselves about how they feel, like, oh no, I don't feel that, or whatever, you know. It's just like shit fucking that people tell themselves, you know. And perhaps this person is experiencing a lot of love right now, because they might have two people that maybe they're in love with two people, you know, and they're just like, fuck, how do I choose? That's possible too. So let's see. Okay, tell me about the Ace of Cups and the Six of Pentacles. Oops. Should I take them? No. They'll come out if they need to again, because I got like 5 cards here. I don't need to be doing all that. Sometimes, no, I ain't doing that. Plus, that's not the way I choose cards anyway. Okay. Okay, so for the Ace of Cups and the Ace of Cups and Six of Pentacles, I got the Six of Wands, Ace of Swords, and the Four of Wands. So yeah, when the truth comes out, right? Because here's the truth right in the middle. When the truth comes out about whatever connection this person chooses, that's going to bring stability, right? And commitment, even celebration. And, you know, this is like typically like some kind of recognition card, you know, like this person has experienced a victory, but there's a bittersweetness about this victory. The story is that this person comes home from battle and the family was going to be watching from the shore, okay? Or I don't know if it's the actual story behind this card, but this is the allegory, or this is the metaphor. This is another story that really just speaks to the nature of this, the feeling, okay? So, the person, and I learned this from my teacher, Megan Angus, and what is it? Okay, so the guy comes home from battle. The agreement was if you're if the sun is alive, then fly the flag at the top of the mast, right? And if the sun is dead, then don't, like, because the parents wanted to see it coming in offshore and like prepare themselves for what to expect when the boat got there. So there was some sort of victory that the sailors had, and then they were like so happy they just totally spaced it on like putting the flag up. But the guy was totally alive, and they were like so happy to come home and everything, but like someone forgot to put up the flag. Comes in, and then he thinks his son is dead, so he throws himself off of the cliff and commits suicide. So this is a bittersweet victory, right? So whatever it is, the truth is here, it's revealed. Attention is given to this situation and to this person, like all eyes are on them. And it's like, while it's happy, there's also a sadness to it. And that makes sense in the context of having to choose one person over another. Okay? But that's interesting because we still have the 3 down here on the outcome. So it's like, and keep in mind, these are 2 things. Like, if you choose this is what would happen. So if you chose to give your cup to one person out of the 2, you would have happiness and fulfillment and everything, but there would be a bittersweet feeling there, right? Like you come home as like their celebration, but then somebody that you love tremendously fucking dies. So that's that piece. All right. So let's say, what's his Temperance and 4 Cups? Okay, so with the Temperance, not the 4 of Cups, but the 4 of Cups and the Temperance. There's the Fool, the 9 of Wands, and the Lovers. So the Fool is always a starting over. It's like a brand new cycle. Some folks say that, like, yeah, you can have a brand new cycle with, you know, one of the people or whatever, with the same person. Like, say if you broke up with somebody and then you came back and blah 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 blah, which happens a lot with everybody. And we're in Mercury retrograde, and so that's one of those things that could be happening for a lot of people right now too. So let's see. Oh, yeah. Yes. That's it. That's fucking it. Look, this Four of Cups energy is sitting in a spot of like not doing anything, not making a decision, because ultimately the Four of Cups is like there's 3 cups, and then the 4th cup is the hand of fate handing you an opportunity, an emotional opportunity. It's like a miracle from the universe being handed to you, okay? When you're in the 4 cups energy, you're not taking it. You're not taking the offer, you're just fucking sitting there, okay? And then trying to like weigh it back and forth, like being patient. A lot of times one foot in, 1 foot out, 1 foot in, 1 foot out, okay? What's between this? What's the energy that's between going for it and then having it? This defensiveness, fear, guarded. Defensiveness, fear, and guard. Like, does that look like a really, that looks like a really gnarly state of mind right there. Look at her face. That's intense. And this part, this kind of stuff, this is like, it's not necessary. If ever anybody made me feel like this, I wouldn't even be living in the same town. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like, no. It doesn't matter who's in your sphere. This is not a fun energy to be in. But that's just it, right? There's a lot of fear between going for it. That's what stands in between the Lovers and the Fool. Is a fearful, defensive energy. This energy is keeping this person from experiencing this. But yet on the inside they really want to. They're afraid. It's wild. It's very real, it's very raw, but it's pretty wild. Yeah. So I see this side right here as kind of like if the Fool, because the Fool's you, whoever's doing this action, right? If they chose this, they would still have happiness. If they lived in their truth instead of living in their fear. And it would feel really good, but there'd be a pain there. What is that about? Pain in trying to make, like, it's uncomfortable to go against these feelings. Because if somebody's like this is probably not the first time they felt this way. This is defenses. Like, our defenses, we develop and utilize our defenses through our lives, and then they shift and change based on whatever kind of work we've done. Because the thing is like, defenses are created early on, and sometimes they're healthy and they're fine, and we like carry them on through life. Other times they're very maladaptive, depending on what you were guarding yourself against, right? And so when you grow up and you're not in that threatening environment anymore, it's like basically the defense doesn't match the typical experience that you have now that you're an adult, and that you have created a safer life for yourself. Or maybe you don't deal with the same type of people that you dealt with when you were younger, i.e. your family, right? So that's when the maladaptive defenses are there, and that's when you know that you have work to do if these defenses are actually shrinking your life and keeping you from happiness, next to each one of these cards, next to each one of these, next to this, we have this. Next to this, we have, next to this, we have this. Self-sabotage and fear. But yeah, it's all here. It's really all here. If this reading is speaking to you and you feel like you're the person in this situation, like this is you, it's okay for you to get what you want. Choose what makes you happy. Choose what makes you happy. There are going to be people that don't like it, whatever. You know, it doesn't mean that you don't care about that whoever's feelings, but that's, you need to choose what makes you happy. Okay. Because that's what I'm seeing here. I'm seeing someone who is really afraid to move toward the thing that they know they love. Because for whatever reason, they don't want to let another third person down. And to be fair, if you're choosing between two people and one of the people you know you're going to really hurt or whatever, you just have to ask yourself, or they're going to be really hurt by the decision that you make if it's not them. You have to ask yourself, does that person love me? And if the answer is yes, and that person truly loves you, they will be sad. But if it's the decision that you want to make and it's not them, you know, then they will say, okay, well, I love you, so I want you to be happy. You know, I mean, and so they'll hold both, right? I mean, that's kind of like, that's pretty radical. Like a lot of time people, if they're in that situation and they're on the kind of like the losing end of it, they can just, you know, get really like vengeful or self-harm or trigger warning, whatever. You know, like people, there are all kinds of people that respond in different ways, but the truest form of walking the path of authenticity and in real love for somebody else is to be like, okay, you know, if that's what you want, then go on, you know? And so, yeah. Okay, let's look at the King of Wands and the Three of Pentacles down here, because I don't know, that to me says that's the person who didn't choose, that didn't make a decision, didn't choose one over the other. And that's the actual, that's in the outcome. So the Three of Pentacles is clarified by the, okay, so no, the Three of Pentacles and the King of Wands in the outcome position is clarified by the Page of Pentacles, the Seven of Pentacles, and the Knight of Wands. So this says like planting a new seed, nurturing it, continuing to invest and nurture whatever it is. Excuse me, even if you don't see results right away. But something with this Knight of Wands energy, it's kind of like this, because it's taking a step down from the King of Wands to the Knight of Wands. And not that Knight of Wands is bad energy, Nine of Wands is very strong, passionate energy, but it's also a non-committal energy, right? So it's kind of like, are you gonna, so it's like if this person continues to be in a third party and play the role of King of Wands, that to me says that they're going to continue to like orchestrate and situate, you know, the situation. And with the Knight of Wands, it's like they're gonna keep playing. And that's, of course, it's like they would keep playing if the Three is still here. Here are these two options over here, choosing one. And this just says what could happen in both. Right? But this is like, let me continue to water this plant that's not bearing fruit, and I'm continuing to do the same thing. With this card, we have to go back to the drawing board. In the Rider-Waite, there's a potato plant, and the frickin' leaves, a lot of the leaves are brown. And like the farmer's kind of leaning on his hoe. He's leaning on a garden hoe, kind of being like, you know, like, oh, kind of frustrated with the results. It's like it's not bearing the fruit. But in this deck, it's kind of like, here, I'm gonna like still water the plant and stick a bunch of crystals in there and imbue it with my energy and keep putting energy into it. But the thing is that with this on here is continuing to put energy into the third party scene with that energy, right? The non-committal one, the one playing, but yet they're in control. And it's kind of like, but then what's this? What is this? Because to maintain the situation would not be planting a new seed. I mean, we've even backed up to the the Page of Pentacles. So this is also a message. This person, this page, who's feeling vulnerable, youthful, not prepared, ready, for sure, ready, but more ready than they give themselves credit for. This is an invitation for this person, be it you or somebody you're dealing with, to step up and take themselves seriously. That's what this card means. So this figure here is how this person feels because they can't see themselves maybe choosing one over the other, or because then they'd have to settle down with one of them or commit, and like that would be their person. Maybe they can't take themselves seriously as a partner. That's why they have these two people on the line, because if you don't take yourself seriously as a partner, then you can date a couple of people at the same time and feel all the weird conflict about it, because you don't take yourself seriously anyway. I mean, there's somewhere deep down defenses. Somewhere deep down, this person doesn't think that, or you might not think that you're cut out for it, right? And that's not a judgment. It's not like you should feel ashamed. It just is, and that's okay. I think the more that people own their vulnerabilities and where they're at, then that's workable, then you have something to work with. But what I'm seeing is that the more you stay in this self-imposed, self-convinced idea that you're not ready, or you don't have what it takes, or whatever the case may be, then that keeps you stuck in a third-party situation, which we've seen doesn't make you happy. Okay, it's not the 10 of Cups, it's not the 4 of Wands, it's not the freaking Lovers, right? So it's just kind of like, yeah, I mean, you have a lot of skill at controlling and orchestrating situations and people and navigating people and being strategic, or, a leader, like leading the helm on. But it keeps you stuck in like a page energy, There's no growth. There's no growth there. You're bringing your A game to the wrong piece of the game. The gaming game. The gamey part of the game. Which is a game. It's not authentic. It's not, yeah. I mean, if these two people don't know about one another, you're bringing your A game to be deceiving two different people. And so it's kind of like, well, what would it look like if you brought your A game to actually, if you believed in yourself, choosing to be with the one that you want? What would that look like if you brought your A game to that? It would look like that. It would look like that. And it would look like that. And it would feel like this. Yeah, and you'd be like, yeah, it feels like you're jumping off a fucking cliff. I don't want to fucking jump off a cliff. Jumping off a cliff. That guy looks like he's having a whole heck of a lot more fun than this guy. Well, definitely more fun than this person. So that's the thing. If you continue to rest on your laurels and just keep doing what you're doing, you'll be able to pull it off. I mean, for I don't know when it says it's gonna blow up in your face, but like, you just keep doing it, but it wouldn't feel good. You'd be stuck in the 4 Cups energy if you did that, which is cool. If you want to be in the 4 Cups, that's fucking totally do the thing. Because honestly, I mean, it's like, we make our choices and we get clearer, and the thing is that despite what the context is of our process taking place and like working itself out, that's just where it is. So it's kind of like, well, respect the process. It's part of the process. This particular person going through this particular thing, this is their process. The best part, where that person would need to bring their A game, is being able to recognize it. And like I said before, recognize it, own it, and that gives you something to work with. And focusing your energy outside of yourself and being like, what kind of karma do I want to create for myself? I mean, then that's only in the, like, it's kind of like, okay, whether or not you're being honest with these folks, right? Like, if you're, like, the whole storyline that I've gone through, Yeah, because you don't want to be cruising and like being dishonest with people. You just don't ever want to do that. There's no reason to do that. If it's something like small, like, I don't know, whatever, you know the difference. This is bigger than that. Okay. And on the bottom of the deck, after all that clarified, Eight of Swords. I'm thinking a lot about this. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? How do you feel? Who do you love? Who do you love? That song by Dr. John. Or I think it's like a really super old blues song, but like a ton of people have sung it. And like I think George Thorogood covered it too. It's the one that's like, I'm not gonna sing it. Okay, what's the advice? And so this is for Gemini. And so Gemini, if this is you and you're in this spot, you know, all the love and hugs and everything. And like, I just want to imbue you with like the confidence and, you know, the sense of like, okay, like just really pay attention to how you feel. And I don't know, you have to ask yourself what you want, what you really want. And also ask yourself, like, between these two people, how have you been treated by both of them? You know, what is the quality of the relationship with one versus the other? Because a lot of times it's like, okay, somebody can be really exciting and like, you know, mischievous and like you don't even know what you're gonna get from day to day and blah blah blah. And it's kind of like this whole fucking like, what is that? It's kind of like our brains become addicted to the trauma response or something. Like there's this weird adrenaline thing. I have to plug my phone in. Hang on, let me get my charger. Okay. Oh, Jesus. He's the frickin' loosest frickin' plug I've ever... That was weird. Okay, let's see. Yay! Okay. So yeah, like the roller coaster thing, right? I don't know. You know what though? It's kind of like people get to a point in their life where they're like, I can't fucking do this anymore. Like, I need to outgrow this shit. And then they just get to a place where they're like, yeah, like I want some depth. Because the thing is, the real exciting stuff that happens in relationships is really discovering the other person's beauty and their depth and being able to practice, you know, really working at yourself. Like talking about shit and being like, you know, like I don't want to use the word vulnerable because that's like kind of overused, but like transparent, you know, like bearing your, not bearing your soul, but like just I think honesty, I think it's hard sometimes for people to be honest about things because they worry too much about how it's going to affect the other person. And it's like, if you have a stable enough friendship, relationship, sisterhood, you know, relationship, whatever form it takes, that's the paradox, is that the hard conversations, when you actually tell somebody, like, you really fucking hurt me, or you pissed me off, or like, what the fuck, you know, like, it's gonna be something that is negative and that they're gonna have a response to because you have a lot of strong feelings about it. That's what actually increases and strengthens the bond. It's like glue, because after you work through stuff like that, like, you feel 1,000 times closer. Like, I've had friendships for well over 20 years, and I've gone through some thick, sticky parts with a few of them, and I will say we would work it out, and it was like you feel so much more love for that person, you know, and it's just really, it's something so, it's like the magic of life. It's the magic of being alive and being connected. You feel connected with the person, with your friend, with your partner, with whoever, and it all depends on how you do it, you know, like, you could, I don't know, like, I'm gonna freaking get off my soapbox here, but so many different people do so many different things and communicate in so many different ways that it's like, if you just got in touch with your own humanity, you would always know how to speak to somebody about whatever it is. Truly. You just would. Because you just have to think, like, how do I want, you know, like, how do I speak my truth in the most truest way possible, but also completely preserve the dignity of myself and the person that I'm speaking to, even if I have to let them down, you know? Other people, they get so defensive and they turn it into something else so that the person rejects them. They're like, well, fuck you. It's like, okay, great. You know, yeah, people do all kinds of fucking shit. It's bullshit. You don't have to do it. You don't ever have to do it that way. When you come from a place of love, then you can communicate anything, even if it's going to disappoint the person you're telling. If there's somebody that you're just like, I'm not talking to them, then don't. I mean, you know, if they don't mean anything to you, then yeah. All you gotta say is, I think the friendship has run its course, and I wish you the best. And that's if it's like the person treated you like fucking shit. That's, you know what I mean? You wouldn't just do that to somebody to be a fucking dick. Okay. What's the advice? I probably won't even post this video. It's an hour long reading. Okay. Oops. The truth will set you free. The truth will set you free. That's what this is saying. The sun. The truth. The Eight of Swords. Look at that cage. It's open. Look at that person. Look at how big those wings are. That person could easily pull those wings back into the cage, lift up the lid, and fly out. It's that easy. You have nothing but the sun to look forward to with your truth. And then at the bottom of the deck, we have the Justice. That's what's fair. That's what's fair. You're going to choose whatever you choose, okay? And even if you choose the wrong thing, you'll know. We make our choices and we get clearer. If you choose the right thing, then you'll know. And it looks to me, I bet you dollars to donuts that you already know who or what it is that you would choose between two things that would bring you this. You already know. Okay, that's what I have for you. Thank you for this special reading, for watching, and I hope that you liked it and you didn't get too frustrated with me for like totally going off on tangents and being laggy and kind of tired. Okay, thanks, bye.